Hello, my name is Mary Eileen Wennikers. I'm your VP Academic, and I have made this video to explain what post-residency fees are and why we need to have them here at the University of Western Ontario, or we'll call it Western. So, post-residency fees are fees that are assessed based on the idea that a graduate student who's completed their coursework and their qualifying exams is now contributing significantly as a researcher and teacher in their own right to the institution, and therefore should not be paying full fees. Almost every major one of the U15 or 15 major research institutions in Canada has some sort of post-residency fee structure in place. The University of Calgary, Simon Fraser, the University of Alberta, the University of Manitoba, McGill, University of New Brunswick, Acadia, and here in Ontario, Brock, McMaster, and the University of Toronto all have some sort of fee structure that reflects the reality that upper year PhD and master's students are now more researchers than students. Those institutions that are part of the U15 that I haven't named usually, or actually rarely, charge more than $3,000 a year for a domestic and $6,000 a year for an international student. Western, by comparison, charges about $6,500 a year for a domestic and $15,359 in 2013 for an international student. Those numbers keep going up, and at Western there is no post-residency fee structure in place whatsoever. This is an extremely difficult problem for upper year PhD students to face. Western guarantees funding for the first 4 years of your program. However, as data recently collected by the publication University Affairs indicates, the mean time to completion for a PhD program is about 5 years on the low end in the physical sciences and engineering to about 6.5 in the humanities, meaning that almost every single graduate student who pursues a program in any of these fields will go outside of their funding period to complete their program. This creates a situation where graduate students in their upper years are working in other positions to attempt to make enough money to pay their tuition, cobbling together a living by sessional teaching, being able to pick up a TA-ship, research contracts, nannying, waitressing, agricultural labor, clerking. I have heard many stories of those that have pursued or had to pursue this sort of alternate employment while struggling to finish their degree as soon as they can because the tuition bills keep adding up. This is clearly not a sustainable situation, and therefore the Society of Graduate Students in 2013 struck a committee to investigate how to best pursue a more equitable fee structure here at Western. Throughout their campaign, they educated and advocated for the necessity of reduced upper year fees. This culminated in a referendum where 14,012 voters, or approximately 20% of the Society's membership, of those 1,324 voted yes to the necessity of pursuing a campaign to get post-residency fees for us at Western. At the same time, a petition was circulated collecting 800 signatures. This was presented to the Board of Governors on April 24th by our president, Kevin Godbout. Him and 12 other graduate students were permitted to attend but were denied speaking rights, and the petition and its subject matter, that is the necessity of post-residency fees, was not discussed. To my knowledge, it has not been discussed at any high-level policy committee since last spring. So what can we do? The petition didn't work. What do we do now? We can't give up. It's very clear that this situation is not sustainable for graduate students at Western. These tuition fees and the financial hardships they cause are interrupting programs of study, causing mental health incidents. Those of us whose program is interrupted by a health or family issue find themselves in an incredibly difficult situation thereafter. People are dropping out. People are having to leave the country because they did not complete their program of studying and can't pay another $15,000 just to be able to finish their work. So we can't give up. What are we going to do? We need to get as many people together as possible to work on this campaign. A small group of organizers will not be able to succeed. We need a broad community coming together that reflects Western's diversity in terms of areas of research, experience, citizenship status, and organizing skills to be able to achieve what we need right here, right now, which is post-residency fees. So at the beginning of April, we will be holding a general assembly where hopefully as many interested parties as possible come out. This will not have a set agenda. It's a place for everyone who's interested to come together in order to discuss some key questions that we need the answers to before we can proceed in this campaign. One is, what do we do next? Do we need more data? Do we conduct a survey? Do we get some qualitative research? Do we develop media materials? Or is it time for direct action? If so, what does that look like? What avenues are we willing to pursue in order to achieve this goal? I really hope that if you're interested, you'll be able to get involved. There is a WordPress that is set up that is Western or post-res fees for Western at wordpress.com. There's a Gmail address, westernpostresfees@gmail.com. You can contact or link into this campaign through either of those avenues. I sincerely hope you do, and I hope to see you at the General Assembly in April.